For more than a century, Canada and the United States have worked together through the IJC, the International Joint Commission, to protect one of North America's most precious resources, the Great Lakes. In 2016, the IJC introduced a new plan to regulate water levels in Lake Ontario and the St. Lawrence, which residents say has led to widespread flooding. Joining us now from Washington, D.C. for more on that and other concerns facing the Great Lakes, we welcome Pierre Béland. He is the Canadian Chair and Commissioner at the IJC. Bienvenue, monsieur. Comment allez-vous?
I'm very well, thank you.
Glad to have you on TVO tonight. Just give us some background briefly, if you would. The IJC itself, how does it work?
The IJC was put together through a treaty between Canada and the U.S. in 1909. And through that treaty, both governments agreed that they would give the management of some bodies of water on the border, or straddling or crossing the border, to this body, the IJC. 3 commissioners are appointed by the President of the United States and 3 by the Privy Council in Canada.
And you're one of our 3, as it were.
I am the Canadian co-chair.
Okay. A few years back, the IJC approved something called Plan 2014. Let's talk about that for a bit. What is it?
Well, Plan 2014 is one of 2 plans that were used since the creation of the St. Lawrence Seaway and the dam between Cornwall and Messina, New York, the Moses Saunders Dam, and the plan determines how we let water through that dam throughout the year. The original plan was called 1958, and there were some deviations added, and it became 1958 DD. But then, about 12 years ago, both governments decided to study how the plan had functioned over the years and try and accommodate some changes to favor wetlands and favor some species of fish that need water at a certain time of the year for reproduction, for example. And the plan was studied extensively by experts on both sides of the border, and it was adopted in December 2016 and started operating in January 2017.
And why was it felt that the water levels needed to be changed in the area that you described earlier?
It's not that the water levels needed to be changed. What we have to consider is our various interests. Riparians that live both along Lake Ontario and downstream and along the St. Lawrence River, navigation, hydroelectric production, of course, and also municipalities that take water from the river, and then recreational boaters, and finally, environmental protection.
Okay, you know there has been concern by some about the water levels in the area. And, well, what do you say? We reached out to a group called United Shoreline Ontario. They represent some property owners. I want to tell you their views and then get your reaction to it. They have said that Plan 2014 is a plan that, by design, allows for higher highs in the fall and winter by about a foot, making the shoreline less resilient to extreme weather conditions because you can't move the water out fast enough during a wet spring. This was predicted in 2008, but implemented anyways. And the exact conditions that were predicted have happened 2 years out of 3. Why would the IJC bring a plan into place that is less adaptable and flexible to extreme weather conditions? That's the question they ask. What's your answer?
I would say this is a very long question. It has so many things in it. I will try and explain what we are doing. And this will answer to the criticism from these people. Firstly, we do not regulate Lake Ontario. We regulate the flow at a dam that is about 160 kilometers downstream of Lake Ontario, about halfway between Lake Ontario and Montreal. And we have to consider all interests downstream, even beyond Montreal, and all the interests upstreams, as well as the people on the river. Essentially, Plan 2014 is no different from the previous plan. It only has provisions for a higher level of water, a few inches in the fall and a few inches in the spring. Some years, other years, it would have less water than previously. The idea is to create a variation from year to year on the levels for a short period in the fall and in the spring. There is absolutely no intent of keeping the lake 1 foot higher, as they say. What happened after the inception of the new plan were exceptional meteorological circumstances. We had the wettest winter in 2017, the wettest spring in 2017 before that, and so that the lake level rose. We cannot raise the level of Lake Ontario. We can only flow water out of Lake Ontario. We have no means of keeping water on the lake. And we have been trying, because these were exceptional circumstances, to flow as much water as we could out of the lake. But it kept raining. There was a lot of snow, and this is basically what nature did to us. And we had exceptional amounts of water, exceptional supply coming from Lake Erie, coming from all the tributaries into Lake Ontario, and coming from the sky. And this went on for a long period of time. We were able to reduce the lake to a certain extent in 2017, and the year after, 2018, was perfect. We brought the lake back to its average, long-term average level.
So is it your view that over time things will even out?
They may. It depends on what happens. For example, in the fall of 2018, we had the wettest months in October, November, December that we've ever seen before. So the lake rose again. And when 2019 started, we had a bad winter again. We could not manage water the way we wanted to because of ice. And then we had the wettest months of April and May ever. And this was true throughout North America. So the lake rose again, and we were flowing record levels of water out of the lakes all through the summer, since June to August, 70 days at maximum outflow. And we have reduced the lake by about 51 to 53 centimeters as of today. And the rest depends on weather. If it doesn't rain excessively during the fall, we will probably reduce the lake not far from its normal level for that time of year. And then we have to expect, or we have to wait, what will happen during the winter and next spring. We hope it will not be a wet spring, but we cannot predict that.
So unlike what United Shoreline Ontario is saying, you feel you are doing your job, you are being adaptive to the circumstances you're presented with, you think it's going okay?
No, it's not going okay in the sense that people are still flooded in some areas. But what I'm saying is that it is not due to the way we manage the dam. It's due to what is sent to us by above.
I understand.
Both from the other lakes. Lake Erie is at an all-time high. Lake Superior is excessively high, and all the Great Lakes are high. So all this water has to come down to Lake Erie and end up in Lake Ontario. Supply to Lake Ontario, 85% of it comes from the Niagara River. So we can expect that we will have high supply from the Niagara River for the coming months. But it doesn't necessarily mean that what is the situation now will be the situation next spring. It will depend on the climate, local meteorology.
Sure. With that U.S. Capitol dome behind you, I did want to ask you a question about American politics. I know that there are several lawmakers on the American side of the border who are eager to have President Trump use an executive order to withdraw the United States from Plan 2014, and I wonder how worried you are about that.
Well, I am not worried because the IJC has been there for a long time. We are confident that we have the best experts from both countries who have drawn this plan, and we have the best experts who are managing this plan on a day-to-day basis. And if either country would get rid of the treaty, they would still have to find a group of people to manage water from that dam. And my knowledge of the system and my knowledge of the people who manage it now is that the next group of people would do exactly the same thing as we are doing.
Well, I don't mean to be a smart aleck when I say this, but this is an administration that is not necessarily always persuaded by empirically provable facts. So does that worry you?
Well, what worries me is that we are sometimes unable to convince the people who are into this hardship due to high waters that we are doing the job that we should be doing, and we are trying to establish more confidence from them toward us. And this worries me more than people who do not live in the basin.
Okay. I've got about a minute left, Mr. Chair, and I wonder if you would tell me what's the other big issue that is on the IJC's plate right now that is taking much of your time?
Well, presently we are in a cycle we call the triennial cycle on Great Lakes water quality, and we are traveling around the basin, meeting with the public to ask them what they think the governments have done over the last 3 years to help continue clean up the Great Lakes. So this is taking a lot of our times, and we are meeting with tons of people everywhere. And we hear very interesting things, and we think there has been a lot of progress, and more needs to be done, and we're sort of the watchdog on this.
Understood. Monsieur Béland, it's good of you to make some time for us on TVO tonight. Thanks so much, and nice to meet you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
The Agenda with Steve Paikin is brought to you by the Chartered Professional Accountants of Ontario. CPA Ontario is a regulator, an educator, a thought leader, and an advocate. We protect the public. We advance our profession. We guide our CPAs. We are CPA Ontario. And by viewers like you. Thank you.